Today we're going to be doing a simple pencil drawing, so we won't be needing our Copic markers or our fine liner. I'll be doing color tutorials again soon, but for today the only tools we're going to be needing is our standard HB drawing pencil. The one I have here is from Faber-Castell, and also from Faber-Castell is going to be this art eraser, which is infinitely better than a regular eraser because it doesn't leave any residue when you go over the paper. For today's tutorial, we're going to be using 9 by 12 inch drawing paper. Using our ruler, we're going to create some grid lines. We'll measure out every 3 inches, and then we'll use that to draw a line from one end of the page to the other. This part might seem trivial, but if you don't do it correctly, it's going to mess up the whole rest of your drawing. Here's the source image that we're going to be using today. This is Funny Valentine, a character I'm not actually too familiar with because I've only watched Jojo up to part 6. But it was requested by one of my viewers, and they specifically requested that I draw it in the same style of my Josuke drawing, which as you can see has multiple levels of shading and just has a lot more complexity to it than you're typically going to see from a Jojo character. For this drawing, we're going to start with a simple sketch. Then we'll erase everything with our fancy art eraser and start over with a fresh set of lines right over the original lines, making everything look very clean and sharp before finally beginning the shading process. Alright, that's it. Let's go ahead and get started with the drawing process. Alright, so we are pretty much ready to go. Remember to sharpen your pencil, and we're going to start this one off by drawing a straight line almost directly through the corner of this cube. And we're going to keep going all the way almost until we hit the center of this cube over here. And once you go down a little bit more, this is where we're going to draw the chin line. By the way, this line that we drew is very important because it's going to establish the directionality, what direction he's facing. And that's an earthquake. I'm in California and there's an earthquake happening right now. I thought it was a train. It's not. It's a fucking earthquake. Okay, it's over. It's over. Holy crap. That lasted for like 20 seconds. All right, anyways, back to the drawing. So after we draw the chin, so we're going to go ahead and finish drawing the rest of his jaw. As you can see, this side of his face is going to be smaller than that side, so the chin is going to show a little bit more over here. Okay, now time to draw the side of his face. And this side of his face is going to go all the way to the middle of this cube over here. So right over here is where we're going to start. And let's see if this lines up correctly. This line I'm drawing, by the way, is pretty much where we're going to draw his nose. And I think that's good. Okay, so there's going to be one more line, one more guideline that we're going to draw, and this is going to be for his eyes. Now let's go ahead and draw the outline of his nose and actually a little bit of his orbital bones too. And for the rest of his nose, on the original drawing, it looked a little bit weird. It looked like his nose was off to the side. So we're going to fix that here. and make it a little bit more proportionate. All right, time for his eyes. So under these two lines that we drew pretty much, we're going to draw his eyes. First, we'll start with the outside of his eyeball. See, it's a little bit too far out, so maybe right here is where we'll stop. And it's going to be right above this guideline that we drew over here. So this side of this side of the face, the eye is going to be closer to the outline that we drew over here, and on the other side, it's going to be a little bit further away. It's going to be more spaced out. I hope you can see that I made the top of his eye over here a little bit flatter. And now let's go ahead and draw his eyeballs. Let me actually fix the top of this eye over here just a little bit. I know we're only drawing the outline right now, but it's still kind of bugging me. All right, so now time for his pupils. It's gonna be nice and big. It's gonna cover most of the area that we have within the eye. All right, and now let's go ahead and get to work on his eyebrows. I hope me spacing out the cubes like this is make it easier for you to follow along and not making things more complicated. I could have started with the square for his face, and somebody actually suggested that I should. But the only thing with that is if I draw a square, it helps with the face, but it kind of makes it more difficult to follow along with the rest of the drawing. Whereas if I space out the cubes like this, you can kind of follow where his arms and legs and everything else is. It doesn't make the most difference for this kind of drawing because it's pretty much a head and shoulders shot, but you know, generally speaking. There's eyebrows, and right underneath that is going to be his eyelid, okay? At the top of his eyelid. Let's actually fix up the corner of this eye a little bit. Yeah, I think I stretched out that eyebrow a little bit too much too. That should be fine. For now, it should be fine for now. Obviously, I'm going to nitpick later on. Okay, now time for the mouth. So the mouth on the drawing that I was following along to kind of looks like trash. So we're gonna fix it up and make it look more like a, you know, what you'd expect from a Jojo drawing. But I caught another mistake. Let's go ahead and widen out this jaw a little bit more. All right, so back to the mouth. So let's go ahead and draw the top of his lip a little bit closer to the mouth, a little bit closer to the nose. And notice it's gonna go right along the middle of this line that I drew. I mean, right along the line. The line is gonna be the middle of his lip. So from there, we're gonna go ahead and make it nice and big. It's actually gonna cross over just over this line over here before we finally start going back down. So don't make it too small, okay? He's gonna look kind of stupid. And here comes the top of his bottom lip. And there goes the bottom of his mouth. I know it looks a little dumb now, but we're gonna fix it, so bear with me. Okay. So now here comes the bottom of his top lip. We're actually gonna do a little, you know, two straight lines here. And then from there, we're going to go down. Okay, so notice that the top of his bottom lip is going to go in, and it's kind of going to curve into the top lip here, if that makes any sense. Whereas on this side, the top lip is going to go over the bottom lip. It's going to kind of stretch out and over. And we're not going to connect the bottom and the top lips here, okay? On the far side we are, but on the bottom side we're not. So this side, the lips are kind of, well, even here I wouldn't necessarily connect the bottom, not all the way. But this side for sure is going to be even further out. There's no connection here at all. Now let's go ahead and draw the teeth. And that is good enough for now. Okay, we'll come back here and draw some more details later, but for now, I'm really not happy with how the side of his face turned out. I feel like I'm missing something here. Let's go out. Let's see, so this is the middle. This is the outside. Maybe a little bit further out. Is that what I'm missing? Maybe it's this side that's really messing up. That should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, moving on. So the next step is going to be the hair. So almost at the top over here, okay? Follow this line all the way to the top, and right here we're going to start the top of his hair. It's going to come down, and imagine the middle of this cube over here, right underneath of that. That's where we're going to stop, and it's going to touch the outside of his eyes, the outside of his left eye, cover up his jaw, cover up the side of his face, cover up his ear, and then after it meets the middle of this cube, maybe I should have gone a little bit more, because it's going to meet the middle of that cube, and then it's going to come back down, almost reaching the bottom here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and draw the other side, and right at the center of this cube over here is where we're going to start. So pretty nice starting spot. It's going to touch the corner of his eyebrow, so we can extend that out a little bit more. And then it's going to kind of run along the middle of this cube before it finally curves back in. And now let's go ahead and fix this part over here, this part of his hair. And it's going to touch the top of his eyebrow. Okay, so how far are we in? 15 minutes, crap. Okay, I'm going kind of slow here, but anyways, let's continue to draw the outside of his hair. So we're going to continue along this path here. Let's see, maybe this was a little too far out, because we should be able to cover the whole, you know, his whole head here. Yeah, right here should be fine. And where we started over here, we're going to follow that path to the outside of his head. And now we're going to draw the outside of his hair. And we're going to go almost straight down. And now we're going to start curving in once we almost get to this line over here. And these two lines are going to get a little closer together before they finally almost intersect, or they do intersect. Okay, now let's draw his neck. And you actually do see a little bit of his ear over here. And this is not his neck. This is actually a little bit more hair on the inside here. And here's the outside of his ear on this side. And his hair is going to run straight down from here. And before I do anything else, because it's going to start getting messy, I'm going to clean up his face first before we complete the rest of the sketch. So for his face, let's go ahead and go over with this eraser, the fancy eraser that I was talking to you about earlier. And as you can see, I'm going over the hard lines, but you can still see the outline of the drawing. So we're going to go over it again. That was our first draft. We're going to go over with our second draft, and this time we're just going to be a lot more detailed, and we're actually going to go over with a hard pencil instead of going over with a soft pencil. All right, so again, sharpen your pencils. Let's go ahead and start with the eyes. So I'm going to speed through this because it's going to get a little tedious going over every detail. Okay, so I actually did this video over several weeks in case you were wondering why I changed my clothes or my location is different. This is done on separate days because I'm a terrible YouTuber and I suck at time management. So now that I have my own office, this is my new office by the way, hopefully I can resolve those issues and post more often. So back to the drawing. As you can probably tell, one eye is bigger than the other, and I haven't decided yet whether I want to make this one larger or this one smaller, so I'm just going to leave it alone for now and move on with the rest of the sketch and probably get back to this later once it's time for the shading process. Now the first thing I want to do is kind of clean up his hair. I made a couple mistakes over here. Well, I wouldn't call it mistakes, I just don't like the way that it looks. So I'm going to straighten out this hair here. And it's actually, yeah, he's got long hair. It's kind of like Giorno with long hair because he's got these little donuts at the end. So we're going to do a real rough sketch of that. Let's get rid of those original lines, those previous lines that I had. All right, so let's go ahead and just draw the larger pieces of his hair, and we'll get into the details later on. So here's another piece over here, and same thing is going to end with that donut, and this one's going to be like kind of in the intersection of this cube over here, and it's going to be underneath a little bit of this one. Then right here, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so here's one donut, here's another donut, and one more donut over here. Actually, two more. I lied. Here's one, and there's another one, and this one's gonna end like right in the middle of this cube over here. Okay, so right over here, we're gonna stop. All right, so underneath this one, we're actually gonna start drawing his shoulder, which is gonna extend all the way to the very intersection of this cube. And this is gonna come back down, and this is kind of like his traps, upper shoulder. I don't know what you call that, but here's his actual shoulder. All right, now let's go ahead and draw the collar for his sweater, jacket, whatever that is he's wearing. In the middle is going to be right underneath his chin. And for the rest of his hair on this side, I think this is probably where it should be. Maybe we'll make it a little bit curlier, like it's about to meet up with this collar over here. You see what I'm saying? And right in the intersection over here is where that donut should end. You probably have no idea what I'm saying. Maybe I should have drawn out the lines a little bit better, so you could visibly see the intersection, or I might actually just put it in the, might just edit that in, like a little red cross over here. Let's see, here's another donut. Did I do that properly? Yeah, I think we should be good. It's gonna go a little bit into this cube over here. And then at the top of this donut, we're going to start another one. And again, it's going to go into that cube to the right side. Okay, donut hair is done. Actually, there's a little bit more to be done. Let's see. Right over here. It's kind of like his ponytail, I guess. And that portion is gonna start, we're gonna bring his hair down over here. And now we'll start his ponytail all the way up here. Wait. Maybe I should bring it down a little bit further. It should be fine for now. All right, so as you can see, very large, very general shapes, and we'll add in the detail a little bit later. But right now, let's go ahead and finish drawing his collar, whatever that is. It's weird, his weird looking collar from the 18th century, I guess. Actually, first thing I'm going to do is just draw a general line, and then we'll draw in his collar from there. So from here, should be, I think this should be good. Is low enough? No, maybe a little bit lower. A little bit lower over here. Now that we've got a general line, we can draw in his collar. All right, so we're pretty much done here. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a couple more lines. It's part of his design. It's kind of like a triangle shape here. It's gonna be a little bit of a curve. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. This is way too many lines. Just a little thin line on his shirt. Let's fix that up. I might still change that later, but good enough for now. All right, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and add in the details, and not a whole lot of narration left. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. But you should still be able to follow along. Actually, one other thing I am going to do, because this is bothering me, because this line over here is supposed to signify his cheekbones, and it's a little bit too high. So I'll bring it down over here. That looks much better. And the same thing on this side. We'll go ahead and bring this down. Not too much. Okay, I can live with that. Let's go ahead and get to work on adding the details.